Good evening, everyone. If you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. We have some late and very breaking cruise news that I just had to hop on here and share with you regarding the recent order from the Bahamas banning unvaccinated people from stepping foot on their islands. Now, if you've been following cruise news, this is something that we've known about today, but Royal Caribbean has been very quick to respond and they've already actually responded to the Bahamas executive order. Let me get you caught up on speed if you're just joining us. Earlier today, about 8 hours, the Bahamas dropped this executive order that said anyone coming to the Bahamas must be vaccinated if you're over the age of 12. For those 12 and under, obviously we know vaccines are not available yet, but for all qualifying healthy adults, if you fall into that 12 and up age range, you must be vaccinated to go to the Bahamas. Now, there is an exemption for those with a religious or medical reason that they cannot get the vaccine, but for everyone else, you have to be vaccinated. The shocking piece of this is that this also includes all private islands in the Bahamas. This dramatically impacts the cruise industry because all of the major cruise lines have their private islands in the Bahamas. Royal Caribbean has, of course, Perfect Day at Coco Key. Disney has Castaway Key. Norwegian, MSC, Carnival, Princess, they all have their private islands there. How is this going to impact the cruise lines? What are the cruise lines going to do? And what is Royal Caribbean saying? We have to get into this because this is so important. And I want to kick this off by just mentioning that I don't think this is going to actually impact Norwegian or Carnival Cruise Lines too much because Norwegian is sailing at 100% capacity. Carnival Cruise Line is trying to hit that 95% and above capacity. So these two cruise lines, it's not going to be as much of a dramatic shift as, let's say, Royal Caribbean, Disney, and MSC. Now, Disney and MSC were not exactly sure what direction the cruise lines are going to go to. Of course, they could decide to bypass the Bahamas altogether. However, MSC, Disney, and Royal Caribbean all have short 3-night sailings that only go to their private islands and Nassau. So those sailings would either just have to all get canceled or they would have to reroute and maybe go western. So let's say they all go to Cozumel. But what I want to get into here is what Michael Bayley has just posted on Facebook this evening. And I think this is really important, especially if you have a Royal Caribbean cruise coming up. You need to listen. Michael Bayley said, "The Bahamas has introduced an executive order which only allows cruise ships to enter any Bahamian port, including private destinations, only if guests over the age of 12 are fully vaccinated, effective September 3rd. So what does this mean? Along with the United States Virgin Islands order a couple of weeks ago, it means that our ships sailing from Florida and from all USA ports and ports around the world require all eligible guests to be fully vaccinated. Only kids, that's kids under 12 from the United States, who cannot yet be vaccinated will be subject to testing and protocols." And then he also put some screenshots of the executive order that was stated earlier today. This is huge news from Royal Caribbean, and this is fresh. This is hot off the presses. Honestly, I have to say that I am a little bit shocked that they responded this quickly. I mean, I assumed that the cruise lines were given a little bit of a heads up because they all own land in the Bahamas, but I'm shocked that we're hearing from Royal Caribbean this quickly in terms of what they're going to do. So this means Royal Caribbean is the next big cruise line to be pretty much vaccine only. Now, again, it does seem like there may be exemptions for medical and religious purposes, but outside of that, if you're over the age of 12 and you have a Royal Caribbean cruise on the books, it sounds like they're going to expect that you are vaccinated or you're going to have to cancel. Now, he made mention of this, but a couple of weeks ago, the United States Virgin Islands actually rolled out the same regulations. So I actually have a sailing on September 18th. The sailing goes to the island of St. Thomas. And our sailing, there was already the decision made that it would be vaccinated people only over the age of 12. So we knew this change had happened. A lot of people had to cancel the cruises. In our little cruise chat, the cruise group, there was a lot of people upset and unhappy and trying to figure out what they're going to do. This is so big though, because now this applies to every single sailing, it seems like, for Royal Caribbean leaving out of the United States. And I just want to hear from you what you think about this. Do you have a Royal Caribbean sailing coming up this fall or winter that has now been impacted by this? I mean, the Bahamas, I have to be honest, I'm not surprised here with the rising numbers growing out of the United States. There's been several states that have been placed on the most dangerous places of the world list. The state of Florida is one of them, and it's because they have such high coronavirus numbers and such high Delta variant numbers as well. We're all still learning so much about the Delta variant and what it's doing and how the vaccines react. So I have to say, I'm not surprised that the Bahamas has taken such a hard stance and has done something as dramatic as this. But I'm really curious to see what MSC and especially what Disney Cruise Line is going to do. Now, I'm actually hopping on the Disney Dream here in about 12 hours. Tomorrow morning, I head over to Port Canaveral and I will be getting on the Disney Dream ship. What's going to happen from there, I'm not sure, but I definitely will be speaking to people on board to try and figure out what Disney's plan is. Are they going to do something kind of like the staycation cruises that we're seeing over in the UK? If you're not familiar, the UK is doing 4-night cruises basically to nowhere. So they're leaving out of the UK and then they're just going into the ocean, they're having fun days at sea, and then the ships are coming back to port. Or will they reroute and will they start go to Mexico? I did hear that Disney has started the at least talks of doing some of their test sailings on the Disney Fantasy and going to some of these actual ports that we'll be seeing the Disney Fantasy go to, which is Cozumel. I think that would be a really big loss for Disney because I know that people want to go to Castaway Cay and people love Castaway Cay. On our cruise this weekend, there's a lot of buzz and a lot of hype for the fact that we're stopping there 2 times. So I'm very interested to see what's going on there. And then, of course, with MSC. MSC has Ocean Cay, which is basically brand new. They've just done a massive renovation on it. They've been having these amazing dance parties with a light show on their lighthouse. And what's going to happen to these cruises? I would not be surprised if MSC also follows suit of Royal Caribbean and does vaccine only. Disney might also follow suit and do that as well. Honestly, I would not be surprised if all of the cruise lines kind of went in that direction. The big loss for Disney if they do that though, is that means that kids over the age of 12, so teenagers, must be vaccinated. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that are concerned about putting the vaccine in the arms of teens. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. What do you think about this news? Again, let me know if you have a Royal Caribbean sailing that's going to be impacted in the comments. Or are you sailing on MSC? Are you sailing on Disney? Are you worried about your sailing? Are you about to get the vaccine? So you're like, you know what? It's no big deal for me. Let us know in the comments what's going on and what you think. Again, I'm sorry for the late breaking news, but I felt like I had to hop on here and share this because this is brand new news to all of us. And look at that, we were alerted by Facebook. Thank you, Michael Bayley, for putting that messaging out there and letting us all know. All right, that is it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, see ya.